Yes, systems matter. Economics matter. Policies matter. But family matters too. Really, to be honest, family matters before all that. See, strong communities are built on strong families. Strong families are built on responsible adults. And responsible adults understand that children require guidance.
Welcome to Think for Yourself Friday with Damon K. Jones. This is where we challenge the narrative, question everything, and focus on results over emotion.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Think for Yourself Friday. Today, I want to talk about something many people see every day, but few people are willing to say it out loud. We have allowed a broken society to tell us how to raise our children. And now we're living with the results. Just look around. Children are struggling academically. Youth violence continues to plague many communities. Respect for parents, teachers, elders, and authority has declined. Many young people are growing up confused about responsibility, discipline, accountability, and even their own identity. Yet every time we discuss these problems, we spend most of our time blaming politicians, blaming schools, blaming social media, blaming racism, blaming poverty, blaming government, and even blaming the children. But almost nobody wants to ask the hard question, who is raising the children? Because regardless of what society says, the first school is home. The first teacher is the parent. The first example of manhood is the father. The first example of womanhood is the mother. The first lesson about responsibility should be taught around the dinner table, not on YouTube, not on social media. So somewhere along the way, we've stopped believing that. We started listening to people whose own lives were falling apart. We start allowing entertainers, influencers, activists, bureaucrats, and social media personalities to tell us how families should function. And the results are right in front of us. We created a society that eat our children up. And I'm going to say this at the beginning. There's a lot of good parents out there. There's a lot of mothers raising children by themselves. And a lot of brothers are not stepping up, being a man and being a responsible father to their children. So we got to understand the importance of the father. Because if you listen to some of these these wicked, sick female personalities online, a man is not good for anything but to pay the bills. No, sister, a man is supposed to be good to be a father to your child. He has a responsibility, and so does you. So think about what has happened in the last several decades. The authority of the parents has steadily been undermined. Discipline became a dirty word. Correction became controversial. Standards is now oppressive to have on children. Expectations is now toxic to our children. Accountability, they turn that into child trauma. Personal responsibility is now victimization. And now parents are afraid to parent, and they're afraid to say no. They're afraid to establish rules. They're afraid to enforce consequences. They're afraid their children won't like them. But your job is not to be their best friend. Your job is to prepare them for adulthood. The purpose of parenting, brothers and sisters, is preparation. And preparation requires discipline. The Bible tells us, train up the child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. The scriptures didn't tell you to be their friend. The scriptures said to train them, to show them the way they should go. Training requires instruction. Training requires correction. Training requires standards. Training requires consistency. Nobody becomes successful without training. Athletes train, soldiers train, doctors train, pilots train. Yet somehow we have got caught up into a broken Black culture that is convinced that children should be able to raise themselves. Then we wonder why so many enter adulthood unprepared. Now we are in the baby mama, baby daddy culture in the Black community. And we need to be honest about that. Stop letting these white liberals tell us that this is okay. Because now we're a culture of baby mama and baby daddy drama. When you have close to 80% of Black babies born out of wedlock, nobody is saying it's a problem. Pastors are silent. Black politicians is silent. Nobody's addressing it. We have normalized broken relationships, unstable homes, constant conflict between parents, and raising children in environments filled with tension and confusion. And then we wonder why our child is acting out. Many adults have become so accustomed to this lifestyle that they no longer recognize the damaging that is causing children. People are paying the highest price of the children right now. Children should not have to choose between their mother and father. Children should not be used as weapons as adult arguments. And the other parent, one or another, should not be the barrier for that parent to see their child. Children are now carrying emotional burdens created by adults who refuse to resolve their own issues. Broken people make more broken people, and they break other people. But yet, this has become normal. Our young people are suffering from anger, depression, anxiety, trust issues, and unhealthy relationships. Now they think chaos is normal. They think conflict becomes normal, and healthy relationships are foreign. They think dysfunction is a familiarity of life. And stability, they don't want stability. So let me be clear. This is not an attack on single mothers or single fathers. I know a lot of them are doing the best they can with their situation. And they deserve respect with the sacrifices that they put up with. But that is a reflection of our overall culture in the Black community, because we have normalized family dysfunction instead of encouraging family stability. The scripture says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Brothers and sisters, a divided house weakens everyone inside it, and eventually it weakens our communities. Let me explain something. I was a single father who raised a son. I understand that parenting is hard. And I also understand fatherlessness from a different perspective. Because my father died when I was 4 years old. So I know what it is to grow up without a father. I know what it is when you want to see your father come to school to see you do something good. I know what it is to watch other children's father attend. And it always has to be my mother. And I bless her for that. But I understand that feeling because I grew up with that. And I told my son one day, I'm like, bruh, I'm trying to tell you what to do and not to do. I didn't have that. I never had a father to tell me the ups and downs. I had mentors, thank God. I had a wise mother, thank God. But I never had a father. And as a father, I make it my business to teach my son the ups and downs. So, I get it, but I cannot imagine the emotional confusion a child experiences when their father is alive and living in the same damn city, driving the same streets, attending the same events, and yet chooses not to be involved in the child's life. How does a child process that? How does a son understand that? How do you make that make sense to your beautiful Black daughter? The child often doesn't ask, why did my father make that decision? How the child processes it as what's wrong with me. Children eternalize abandonment. Many begin to believe they were not worth the time, sacrifice, and attention or love as a parent. Do you understand that creates wounds in your children? Black man, it creates insecurity, it creates anger, it creates trust issues, it creates emotional scars that can last for decades. The issue is not whether the father is alive. The issue is whether he is present. Because a father who is physically alive but emotionally absent can leave wounds that last a lifetime, can leave wounds that will turn a young man from being a productive citizen to a YN on the street, shot dead or locked up. The Bible says, the just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. The blessing comes from the father example, his presence, his integrity, his leadership, his involvement in the child's life. But y'all Negroes are out here making babies and not being fathers. And you're putting the woman at the head, and she has to deal with a young Black man in a broken society, while y'all Negroes is out here at baseball games, basketball games, living the life, while your seed, your offspring, is going through so many changes as he grows up, and he needs his dad, but his dad is not paying attention. Look at our children today. What we're witnessing today should be a wake-up call. Look at our children with these social media takeovers, groups of teenagers organizing online, gathering in large numbers, taking over streets, damaging business, fighting, stealing, assaulting people, creating chaos in their own community. And these incidents are not being planned by hardened criminals. They're being planned by children. This should be a huge concern to every parent, because when children are left to be raised by social media, the internet becomes the parent. When parents stop governing their children, somebody else will always do it. And that is one of the oldest lessons in human history. You cannot govern yourself. Someone else will govern for you. If the parent cannot govern their children, the government eventually steps in. And this is exactly what we're starting to see. Many cities are now passing or considering laws to hold parents accountable when minors repeatedly commit crimes, vandalize property, violate curfew, or engage in organized acts of violence. Why? Because society, even though it's broken, is also tired of paying the price of parental neglect. The truth is simple, brothers and sisters. Children need guidance before they need freedom. They need boundaries before they need independence. They need accountability before they can be trusted with greater responsibility. The Bible says, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. Correction is not hatred. Correction is love. Discipline is not abuse. Discipline is preparation. A child who never learns accountability at home will eventually learn it somewhere else. The question is whether they learn from a loving parent, a school administrator, a police officer, a judge, or a prison cell. See, we got to stop blaming everybody else at this point. Because I see Negroes want to criticize the system than focusing on and having open discussions on improving families. Yes, systems matter. Economics matter. Policies matter. But family matters too. Really, to be honest, family matters before all that. See, strong communities are built on strong families. Strong families are built on responsible adults. And responsible adults understand that children require guidance, not out here fighting with children, as I've seen some parents out here fighting with the children. How do you teach responsibility? When you're fighting with the child in the street. And no government can replace good parenting. No politician can replace a father. No bureaucracy can replace a mother. No social media influence can replace family values. The people who love the child the most should be leading the child the most. I get it. It's hard. I get it. So what do we do? First, we got to stop apologizing for parenting. Second, we have to establish standards. Third, we have to enforce consequences. Fourth, we have to teach responsibility before entitlement. Fifth, model the behavior you want your children to follow, because children learn more from what we do than what we say. And sixth, we have to make our own programs in the community for some of these children that get caught up in the craziness. You have a lot of mothers out here looking for help. But these politicians, they're not thinking about that. They're focused on migrants and foolishness. Trump. They're not focused on the mother who voted for them, who ran to the polling place and pulled that lever, and thinking this black person, this black woman, or this black man will understand the pain that they're going through, and they will create legislation and policy and programs that will help them, and they get into office and they create nothing. They create nothing. We have to change that. And let me tell you something else. I was a correction officer for 33 years. And I watched young black men, I watched young black women coming in and out of the facility, going back to communities that had nothing for them when they came out. Not even enough stuff to just assist them to get there on their feet. So they went back to what they knew best, to feed themselves and their children. And our leaders, our black leaders, had nothing, a bunch of symbolism. So the lesson of today is simple, brothers and sisters. A broken society cannot teach children how to become whole adults. The responsibility starts with the parents, and then the responsibility goes to the community. See, because far too long, many families have allowed this culture to lead mothers and fathers who should have been leading their children. How about that one? Because of our absence, especially the men, you have allowed people who do not know your children and do not love your children and never be responsible for your children but they will influence your children to do foolishness. And we're seeing the consequences right now. So no more excuses, no more blame. We got to figure out as a nation, as a Black nation, as Black communities, as Black people concerned on what to do. But what's the good news, brothers and sisters? The good news is God gave us a blueprint. Train up the child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he would not depart from it. Stop listening to these foolish people telling you your children have rights. They don't have no rights when you're paying the bills, buying the clothes, buying the food. Ain't no rights here. Your household is a dictatorship until they go off to college. So this whole lecture that I did, it's about love, man. I hear too many mothers crying because their sons. And the first thing I ask, where's the father? And you know what? And you know what the sad thing about it is? The usual answer I get, he's somewhere. What the hell is somewhere? What in the hell is somewhere? Sisters, I'm going to, listen, you got to stop having babies by these ignorant Negroes. Straight music. You got to stop doing it. You have to stop doing it. If that man don't put no ring on your finger and make you a wife, don't have no baby by him. Because if he does leave, at least you're going to make him pay. It's better to be an ex-wife than to be a baby mama. I want to say that again for the sisters so y'all understand. It's better to be an ex-wife than to be a baby mama. So I hope you got something out of this video. It was on my heart, and I wanted to drop it because we got to change the scriptures. The scripture, man, listen, man, the Bible is one of the most greatest life manuals we can have. I know we want to debate on, this and that, and who wrote this and that, but at the end of the day, it's one of the greatest life manuals we can have. And as I said, we got to start going in it instead of going by it. Because when you go by it, you miss a lot. When you go in it, you get a lot. And I'm Damon K. Jones, and this has been Think for Yourself Fridays. And until next time, stop letting other people do your thinking. Seek wisdom, demand accountability, and most important, think for yourself. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay Blacktastic. Peace out.
Black America, political loyalty without results is not power. Sign up and get your free ebook by Damon K. Jones. A seat at the table is not power. Building the table is. This book exposes how political dependence weakened our communities and lays out a blueprint for Black economic, political, and institutional sovereignty. If you're ready to move from symbolism to ownership, this is for you. Download it free today. Follow Damon K. Jones on YouTube and stay connected to empowering conversations that challenge the mind, strengthen the spirit, and uplift the community. Subscribe to Black Westchester YouTube and at Damon Jones on YouTube for powerful content on life, culture, community, faith, politics, health, and truth that makes you think for yourself. If you're serious about political clarity and independent thinking, this is for you. The Political Thought Bundle includes 3 full books, all personally signed. Democrats and Republicans, The Ultimate Gangbangers, breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Coward lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. One bundle, $60. That's a $75 value, and you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed Political Thought Bundle today. It's going to be Blacktastic. For more than a century, Black America built its own economy under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In The Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965 and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two Step Publishing and Amazon. Westchester magazine has been giving our community a voice, reporting the stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our communities is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in real journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong in local news, we need your help. Your donation helps us continue covering the stories that matter: politics, education, justice, and economic empowerment right here in Westchester. Support Black media, support Black truth, support Black Westchester magazine. Donate today and help keep Black media alive. Because Black-owned independent media is Blacktastic. Black Westchester magazine presents People Before Politics, the Sunday Rundown, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Join Damon K. Jones, A.J. Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as they break down the biggest stories in politics, culture, and community from a Black point of view. No spin, no party loyalty, just logic, accountability, and outcomes. If it impacts Black America, we're talking about it. Tap in, subscribe, set your reminder. This Sunday at 6 p.m. is going to be